Hello everybody, it's Jennifer with creativecricketdesigns.blogspot.com, and for today's card I again designed it in my Gypsy, but I wanted to show you exactly how I did it in case you're interested in making one of your own. I took a rectangle from the Plantin Schoolbook cartridge and I have it sized on width at 3.11 and height at 5.26 inches. Then I went to the paper doll dress up and I used the shamrock or four-leaf clover, whatever you want to call it, and I grabbed one of those. And what I did is I moved it over here to my rectangle that I had put on there from the Plantin Schoolbook, and I sized it at the width is 0.89 and the height is 0.88. And then I lined this first one up at the very top, and then all I did was went to my advanced and I used the copy feature so that they were all the same size and I didn't have to worry about resizing any of them. So what I did is I first lined up this one and then I grabbed another one and I just kept going and I have them all lined up at the end. And then to make sure that they were perfectly aligned from top to bottom with the edges, I used the X and Y right down here, and I noticed that my first clover is at 4.24 for the X, and I just kept doing that and moved them all so that the X, I think it's the axis, AXIS, were all the same. So all of the X's, which is the line that it's on, were all at 4.24. So that means that when you cut it out, you're not going to have a clover that's out in the middle of nowhere, you know, way off base. They're all going to be perfectly aligned in a nice straight line. And I do that with all of my stuff that I weld together. I always check with the axis, with the X and the Y's, to make sure that depending on where it is on the mat, that the numbers are the same. Now your Y number on this instance isn't going to line up, but you just need to make sure that the X right here, that this number is always the same for each individual shamrock that you put on there. That way they're going to be perfectly aligned when it cuts out. So that's the quick tidbit on that. And then I have my leprechaun that I use from the paper doll dress up cartridge as well. And then here's for my sentiment. My leprechaun, let's see, he's cut at 3¼ inches. And then I just have a layer that goes on top of that shamrock piece that I cut out. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the base of my card is just a black Recollections cardstock, and it's cut at 4¼ by 11. And then I just folded it in half and it makes an A2 size card, and I'm going to be making it a portrait style card. I went ahead and did some white faux stitching around the edges, and then I chose this cardstock, which has some clovers on it, and it is from, let's see, it's from this Can Company designer paper stack called Sleepy Tree. It's a seasonal stack, and it has, you know, Christmas, fall, Halloween, 4th of July, some cheeseburgers for picnics, some flowers, some Easter stuff, and some St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's paper. So I was able to find some of that in there because I've been looking we only have a Joann's, a Michael's, and then one local scrapbook store. And I've not had very much luck finding some papers, and I want a really cute paper with some clovers on it, and this is the closest that I could come to that. So that's going to be the first layer on our card. So we'll go ahead and get that attached. And I'm just using my ATG. And I'm just going to layer it in the center of my card. And then the layer that I cut out that I was showing you how I created, this is how it turned out. And then what I did is I went around it with my, I don't know if it's a micro pen or a Micron 08 archival ink pen, which has like blackish brown ink. So I just went around and kind of defined the edges of all the shamrocks, and then I used my green stickles and just kind of did another outline to help them stick out from the card. And then I also did some faux stitching around this, the top and the bottom and the opposite end of the clovers. And then this is going to also go on my card base off to the side. And then I have a piece, the white layer, which I ran through the Seeing Spots Cuttlebug folder. And that's going to go inside of that, right up to the edge of where we welded the shamrocks together. So I'm going to go ahead and get this piece on here. Do it this way. So I'm going to line it up with this edge where I welded my shamrocks to the card. It's going to look like that. And then this will go on the card like so. I'm going to go ahead and do it like that. So I'm ready for this. I'm going to go ahead and get that on there. And then you can see the back of the piece that we welded together and see how they lined up very straight. By doing the X and Y axes, it allows you to get them proportionate just the way they need to be, so it doesn't look like it's off-centered or anything. So just some little hints for you in case you're wondering what those do or why you would use them. Okay, so we have that. And then my little leprechaun is right here, and he is cut at 3 1/4 inches in all of his layers. I did some doodling on his hair and his beard and around his hat and everything. Try to get you a close-up picture of him. And I have him on some pop dots. His face is a little crooked, but he's still cute. And I did go ahead on that. I used the Everyday Character Faces. And for his face, I used the, let's see, the 5/8 inch size with the face assortment. So I'm going to go ahead and get these peeled off of here. Ever since I got my acrylic nails taken off, it's just been hard to grab a hold of those. And he's going to be right towards the bottom of my card in the center on the white layer. And then I have the sentiment, which I used my creative time. I believe in leprechauns. I'm totally falling in love with this stamp set and just been creating a lot of St. Patty's Day cards with it. I think it's really cute. There's a set of 19 stamps, and I think it was $14.95 plus $1.95 shipping. So it's pretty reasonable. So for my sentiment, I cut out a black piece of cardstock and a white piece of cardstock. I stamped my sentiment on it, and I put a little eyelet and I ran some twine through it. My black piece is cut at just shy of 1 inch wide, and it's 2 inches long, and the white piece is about 3/4 of an inch by 1 3/4 of an inch. And that is going to go at the very top. And I pop dotted up the white piece that has the brad and the twine going through it, and then the black I'm just going to go ahead and adhere straight onto my card. But I needed to pop it up so that I was able to get my brad and everything in there so it would lay right. And then I'm just going to go ahead and seat it at the very top. like so. And that is my card for today. I believe in leprechauns. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.